Hi everyone, welcome into SK World. In my previous tutorial, I have explained how to use tags in Behave to organize and run your test. If you have not watched that video yet, make sure to check it out first. So let's begin. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about parameters in Behave. So what are parameters? Parameters allow us to pass dynamic values into our test steps. Instead of writing the same step again and again with different values, we can use parameters to reuse steps with multiple inputs. This make our test cases more flexible, readable, and maintainable. So let's begin. Open step file. In this step file, define user is on the login page and open the Chrome browser. Context.driver is equal to webdriver.chrome. This is used for opening the Chrome browser and navigate to this URL. After navigating to this URL, maximize the window. Now, we need to make changes in step. In this, when user enters valid username and password, and here we define a standard user and this is the password, but we will define username and password in feature file. Here we will use user enters valid username and enter here bracket, and here enter double commas here and password, and then user will enter password. So here enter double quote inside this double quote round bracket, and here we will use single quote. User enter valid username, enter here username inside username, and then user will enter password, context username comma password. Now use this username and password here in send keys because we will define our username and password in feature file. Username same as well, enter here password. Open login dot feature file and enter user, enter valid username and password. Copy this complete, enter here. When user enter valid username and password, inside valid username it will pass dynamic value here. Same as well for password, enter password. Now enter username and password inside the double quote. Open Chrome browser and copy this valid username and password. Standard underscore user. This is username. Enter here username double quote and side double quote, enter username and then enter password. Copy this one, only password, enter password here. Now you can view if you want to run our test by this credentials, log out user. So we just need to open this login.feature file and enter here dynamic value, enter username here and password. Now user will be login with logout user. Here multiple users are available. You can use this user. Now we can run the test. For running the test, click on terminal and then enter here behave. Just enter here behave. Now first it will open the Chrome browser and maximize the window. Maximize the window, enter username and password. Now write the step for wrong credentials. Here we enter wrong username and password. Let's write the step for invalid. Enter here wrong username, bracket here, round bracket, and here enter after pass, password, username, context, comma, username, comma, password. Let's change here username and here password. Let's enter single quote here. Same as well. We need to do single quote here. Let's add this step here in login.feature file when user enter wrong username and password. Inside what we will enter value wrong username and wrong password. Invalid password. Remove this one. Now we can run the test. As you can view here in login.feature file, this is tag for login and feature is login functionality, smoke tags, and this is regression tag. Enter here we have now test is running, scenario successful, login, enter valid credentials. Now it will enter invalid credentials. Enter here username and password, but we pass here user enters wrong username and password invalid. Let's check because we need to enter here username, not enter here double quote. So as well we need to change here and enter here password just without double quote, otherwise it will not pick the values from feature file. Now we can run the test. Behave, open Chrome browser, maximize the window, enter valid credentials, login successfully. Now it will enter here wrong username and invalid password. We have defined here in feature file data which is invalid password. You can add here multiple scenarios. Suppose you want to log in with logout user, problem user, performance glitch user. So just write here scenario given which is user on the login page. User will enter logout. You can enter here logout user and then enter password is same for all users. So you can add multiple negative cases in this feature file and you can use this and click on the login button. As you can view here in step file, we just write this step one time and we can reuse this step in multiple scenarios. Here you can view, click on the login. We just define one time step and we can use this step multiple times in a scenario. Now in previous tutorial, I have explained how you can run the test by text. Suppose you want to run only regression test case. So you just need to enter command here behave dash dash tags is equal to and then enter your tag name. Here tag name you can view regression. Suppose you want to run only regression test cases. So you just need to define here behave dash dash tags is equal to regression. Now it will check this tag and run the all test cases in which mention this regression keyword. Now click on enter and test case is running. Navigate to the URL and execute the negative scenario, wrong username and password. In a terminal, we can view here @regression, negative scenario invalid login, and one feature passed, one scenario passed, and 3 step. In this scenario, only 3 step. So here total 3 step passed and 4 skipped. 4 skipped. So that's all for today tutorial on parameters in Behave to make your test steps reusable and efficient. If you found this tutorial helpful, please subscribe to SK World and see you in the next video.